touch the sky. I am free. You are free. We are free in this shambles democracy. Free to think, free to speak, free to be all it is that you can be. Back the shadow, I know this is where I stay. Holding back the shadow, I know this is where I stay. With you here today. Only get one moment take that chance. A moment to go for gold. Off the ground, give it one more try.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Irish Furian. I am the Irish Furian. Okay, so I have a fair bit ready for this stream. And let's see, everything all right? Yep. Okay, I think all the audio and everything is okay. So basically, this morning is going to be about a new direct provision centre which is being opened up in Letterkenny in Donegal. So I saw somebody sent this to me. Let me see here now. Hopefully you should be seeing that all right. Let me just check in the software. Yep. Okay, so this is the Donegal Daily, apparently. Never seen it before. I'm going to take it as some kind of a news outlet. It is telling people that there is a new direct provision centre set to welcome first residents. Now, this was written by Chris McNulty on February the 9th, 2021. It says the first group of residents are to move into a new direct provision centre. Excuse me this morning. Lots of bloody dust around. To new direct provision centre in Letterkenny before the end of February. A group of asylum seekers who are in emergency accommodation in Port Salon will be part of the first to be moved into the new centre. A mobilization inspection will be conducted. Just wondering what that X is with the countdown timer on the side there. A mobilization inspection will be conducted on Friday to assess the recent work carried out, while councillors from Letterkenny Milford Municipal District are also to make a site visit in the coming week. So, well, councillors from Letterkenny and Milford will check to see if the the stable, I mean the direct provision centre, is okay for the farm animals. I mean asylum seekers, refugees. They are on track for the first group of residents to be in by the end of this month. Letterkenny Milford MD Mayor Councillor Donald Coyle said. Let me just see here. Some adverse grouping will include those who have been in emergency accommodation at Portsalon House since July 2019. 16 people from various families were relocated to Portsalon, and they will be among the first residents at the Port Road Accommodation Center. The direct provision center will be located at former student accommodation buildings and will be managed by Bridgestock Care. Bridgestock Care. That might be one for you, Garrod Murphy, to have a look into that with your forensic scalpel laser focus. The centre will be able to cater for up to 60 families. Supports and service provision for residents is set to be provided by the Department of Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth, Department of Health and HSC, the Department of Education, the Department of Employment Affairs and Social Protection. Children of school age living in the centre will attend mainstream primary or post-primary schools in the area. Meanwhile, these are all people, by the way, who are coming from such disparate parts of the world that share no history, no culture, no heritage, no ethnicity with us. They are being just taken from their, well, they're not really, they're being paid to. We know they're being paid. That there's no refugees. Of course they're not refugees, because how can they be refugees? Leo Varadkar signed the Global Compact for Migration in 2018. He signed it in Marrakesh, Morocco in December 2018, which allows for the safe, orderly and regular migration of peoples from developing nations into developed nations, right? What's a developed nation and what's a developing nation? What's a migrant? Okay, right? So there's already a system in place for the movement of peoples. Okay? Like, why call them refugees at this stage? Yeah, see that now? That X is going to annoy me. I'm just going to get rid of that. Oh, don't do anything different. Go back. Go back one. Okay, I think I have a time thing here. Hey to yourself. So look, supports and service provision for residents is set to be provided by the Department of... So, okay, children of school-going age living in the centre will attend mainstream primary or post-primary schools in the area, while adult residents will be linked in with the English language classes run by Donegal Education and Training Board. The Department of Children, Equality, what's equality? Disability, Integration and Youth said recently that a Letterkenny Friends of the Centre Group is being set up to promote integration opportunities for residents. Why? The initiative aims to bring residents, community members, sporting and voluntary groups together to provide greater community links. This Friday afternoon, members of the Letterkenny MD will meet over Zoom, I'm going to take it, for a presentation from a local intercultural group. Intercultural. There's Mr. McNulty there himself who wrote the article. All right, so look. Okay, I see what it is. As you get down the page, the X, the thing. Okay, fine. So Letterkenny and Donegal, right, is to become another centre for plantation. So what they do is they pay people to come here. Okay, global banking gives money to people who are willing to make the journey over to our country and continue to receive benefits and get first choice services in jobs that they are able to get here in our country. All right, that's what it's all about. They are looking to homogenize developed nations. Let's see. I'll just check this is my opinion, by the way. It's all my opinion. It can't be anybody else's opinion because it's me speaking. So this is my opinion. Anyway, I won't give my full opinion until the end of this. We'll go through. I see we've more things to go through here. So, all right. So this is the article from Irish to Arabic. Cape Clear looks to a more diverse future. right? So this is an island called Cape Clear of solely Irish people, right? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a wonderful thing? I mean, if you were to say the Maasai people on the savannas in Africa and say, isn't it wonderful there's a group of people called the Maasai people living in Africa, right? Isn't it wonderful that they have a home, they have a section of land that they call their own, that they exist on, right? However, when it comes to Northern Europeans and more specifically in this case, Irish people who live on an island, who have their own geographic location for their people, it's wrong. Well, it's only wrong because the overarching systems and structures through the media that they own and the banking system that they own say it's wrong, along with the paid trolls and who are being paid to actually support that narrative. You understand? They're paid to support the narrative that having only one group of Caucasian Northern European people in their own land is, they use all kind of weaponized words. Hateful, wrong, white supremacy, blah, 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 blah. You know the deal. So anyway, that's Cape Clear. They can't have just Irish people on it. They've also got to have people who speak Arabic, right? Because Arabic, it's not spoken anywhere else in the world. All right, there's no other Arabic people in the rest of the world. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. This is, let's see. It's all right, man. I know you're just paid to support the narrative. Don't worry about it. So, you probably have to support kids or something like that. I get it. Don't worry about it. So, the Arabic writing on this bag makes a subtle but brilliant point. This is the Irish Examiner, and it is journalist Nader Al-Taras was on the Berlin U-Bahn and I said, Arabic. So this is, he posted a pic on Facebook, the text in Arabic. The text is no other person than to terrify those who are afraid of the Arabic language. Okay, it's just inversion. Using the inversion of fear to actually make people go towards it and accept it, So that's what this is about. It's inversion. This is how it works. Alright, I don't know. Okay, I saw that article. I thought it was related, but maybe it's not. Okay, look. Carsavine in County Kerry. One of the most Irish places you could go. Carsavine Group applies to host refugees in the community. Former residents of the Skellig Star Direct Provision Centre in Carsavine. Alright, a group in the County Kerry town where a controversial direct provision centre was closed down last summer has applied to host the resettlement of refugees. Again, at this stage, there's no need for anybody to be a refugee. Leo Varadkar signed the Global Compact for Migration. The only reason that these people are coming in under the heading of refugee is so they'll be given free accommodation. And, and then in a fast method, integrated, as best they can into the local population to very quickly turn them into pawns of global banking, basically, to turn them into wage slaves, consumers, support the Ponzi scheme for banking, the banking structure and the banking method. Also, I believe it is to disallow homogeneity of ethnicity in Northern European and Caucasian lands, so as to create a divide and conquer situation whereby you can't say that you have sole right to the land when you are below 50%. You understand? So once there is numerous ethnic groups living in the same geographic location, they will no longer be able to, the Irish, who will probably then be below 50%, won't have, what would you say? We won't have, we'll say, a sole right to create laws for ourselves, for our own people, because we will be less than 50%. You understand? It's the largest group with the most power gets to call the shots. But then when we're all disparate at a disparate percentage of people, who will we look to for guidance and for authority and for order? Well, it'll be the government, the state. So, and who then will be in rule during that time? Well, who is the government and the state backed by? So let's move on here. Okay, so I have a few pictures here, which I hope that is okay. Yep. Ireland, back in 2004, Ireland voted against African women coming into this country, dropping out a baby, and then that baby being able to be called Irish. So it was opened up to I think it was a referendum, is it? Let me see. Well, I believe it was a referendum. So, editor terms, the derogatory term, anchor babies term, the derogatory term. No, that's what they were. Terms for those who receive citizenship of a country by being born there are a trending topic right now. This is back in 2015, okay? This is written into 2015. So again, this is irishcentral.com, the news outlet. Anchor babies are or those who receive citizenship via birth are a hot topic right now, thanks to Donald Trump. Donald Trump was just created to create backlashes against anybody, who stands up for their own nationality and their own. God, by God, look, Emmanuel, will you look at the amount of paid trolls in here today? The hot topic really brings them in, doesn't it? Anyway, I hope you're all well. You're all human beings as well. So, you're all God's beautiful creation. All right, so, yeah, people like Donald Trump. As I said, politics has no power. Politics is window dressing. It is there to manufacture the consent of the people. It is solely to create narratives and counter-narratives whereby the viewpoint of the uneducated and unaware person will follow to manufacture consent. All right, so as you can see here, in 2004, 78% of Irish people voted against people just coming in here from other countries and dropping out a baby and then allowing that baby to be called Irish because it was simply born here. All right, that was 80% of the Irish population in a vote, if that is to be properly believed and understood. All right, so we move on to the next one. This is a picture of a scrawling on the side of a bridge in a large city or town. And basically it says, refugees welcome, racists not. All right, so why does somebody go around scrawling such a thing on a panel on a bridge in red like that, bright red? Why did they do that? Okay, who is so psychologically locked onto this issue that they have to go around writing those things? Well, I'll tell you who. Like the lads here on the YouTube, it's paid. People who are paid, all right, to support a narrative. It's global banking money, which is issued to the people out in their own countries by NGO groups to actually make their way here to our country. They come under refugee schemes, so as I said, to more quickly get them pipeline them straight into our economy, straight into our culture, straight into our society as quickly as possible. All right, mostly for the economy. All right, because as I said, it's to support a dying Ponzi scheme, and these are paid people as well, paid activists, going around paid to actually put those up. It's like this. I don't know. Do I have it here? Maybe do, maybe not. Yeah, look, this was in a local art gallery, and basically these people actually said this, and actually said this, right? That 40,555 people have died trying to cross the Mediterranean to start a new life. 40,000, right? Do you think any governments would what would like if 50 people died crossing a sea to get to another country? Don't you think that some government would step in and say, hang on a second, there's a massive loss of life here? So the people who are incentivized and paid to actually push forward this narrative in this local art gallery, they actually termed the number 40,555. Isn't that insane? 40,000 people dying in the water like that. Like if two people died, like there was a couple of years ago in the media, the media weaponized the death of a young boy called Kurdi, I think he was. I don't know whether he was Kurdish or whether he was Turkish or what he was. But the father was taking him to Europe to actually get teeth done. He was simply taking him to a dentist in Europe. But he was driving so recklessly that the boy got thrown out of the boat and he drowned. And the media raced to the situation really quickly. They took a picture of the dead boy on the beach and said, look how how horrific you are in Europe for not letting people who are suffering into your countries. That was one boy. Look at the number that's on this here. 40. Do you think, look at the uproar that was over that was weaponized and used over one boy, like one little boy that was being brought. Yes, it was horrible. It was tragic, that the death of a little boy's life. But I'm saying, the point I'm making here is that one boy, that was the media reaction. If it's to be true, if it really is about the loss of life, look at the number here. 40,555. Look, guys, it's BS. Obviously, it's BS. The people who are being brought here are being incentivized by NGO groups in their own countries. All right, so what else do we have here? First refugee families. This is in 2020, 2nd of November. First refugee families move into their homes, new homes in Tipperary. Tipperary, right? Right, so this is as part of the refugee resettlement program. 45. Like Ireland is natively has 4.5 million people. Do you know after 300 years how many people that will create who are not Irish, who have a separate group, ethnic group living within this country? 45 Syrian families. Okay, let me also tell you about, I'll retell the story of this lady that I knew who worked in a community centre in a large town in Ireland. She said, I'm looking at the names of the trolls, and it's like, they're the ones which are just sent on an issue like this. So when I start talking about something like respiratory ailments, it's just one or two of the other lads. Emmanuel, are you still in here? I'm ignoring what the guys are saying for man, but Emmanuel, say something, man. Tell me I'm not alone in here with all these these paid trolls, right? So let's see. So 45 Syrian families were. So this friend that I knew at the time, she was working behind the desk inside the office in this community centre, and a couple of Syrian families came in at that point, and she said that after they got their status sorted, right, after they got their situation ironed out here in Ireland and all their supporting financial structures and all the rest, once they got settled in a place to live and all the rest, she said that the oldest boy of the family, got himself a car. She said the car was in such good nick, it was such an up-to-date car that she could only envy him for having such a car. She said that then, I think around Christmas time or some period, I don't know what, some holiday festival period, he went off on holidays back to his war-torn country. Like, these are supposed to be refugees. If they're refugees, why are they going back on holidays to a country that is dangerous, apparently? Why is that happening? Well, the obvious answer is that the country isn't dangerous. These people are being given money, world banking money, okay? They've been given money, incentivized by NGO groups. Thanks, Emmanuel. Good to hear. Good to see you there. The other guys as well, they're okay as well. I mean, they're paid trolls, but they're paid to say what they're saying, and everybody has a reason for taking money, and they're not in our situation, they're not in our country, so we can't judge them too harshly. All right, so they're children of God as well. All right, so I don't know if I have much more to say about this. So I wanted to show you this, okay? This is who rules us. This is the European Union. All right? This is the group that we submit through consent. All right. This is, you could say that it's not consensual, but it is by now. I'd imagine that, I've talked to so many people who believe that the European Union has done great for this country, but they're only thinking in terms of economic wealth. Well, now that's all being rescinded, and this is a moot point. And now we're stuck with hundreds of thousands of people in our country who are not of our heritage, not of our history, not of our culture, not of our ethnicity. And I do believe there is a religious aspect to this. This is a painting, an old painting. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's of the Tower of... Oh, yeah. It's Bruegel. Sorry, Peter Bruegel. The founders of the European Union used this picture of the Tower of Babel by Renaissance painter on some of his posters over the years with the phrase in French, many tongues, one voice. David Hathaway was told by a journalist that members of the European Parliament knew what the Tower of Babel was and what it meant. Are you ready, guys? Here's the European Union headquarters in Strasbourg, right? I believe it's Strasbourg, isn't it? Yes, Strasbourg Parliament. You ready? Dun, dun, dun. So that's the Tower of Babel as painted by Peter Bruegel. Ready? Dun, 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 dun. Look at it. Carbon copy. Is the Strasbourg Parliament building meant to look like the unfinished Tower of Babel mentioned in the Old Testament? If Scripture is a dead book and of no relevance, why is this based on a biblical design according to Parliament officials themselves? All right. Widely symbolic. The woman on the beast sculpture is outside the front of the building of the Council of Ministers of Europe. It has also appeared on European banknotes and currency, but at national European levels, and pieces of art featuring this image can be found on the Berlin Wall and in the parliaments of Brussels and Strasbourg. Is there a spiritual side to the vigorous UK European referendum debate that has been ignored due to it being a proverbial elephant in the room? If it was, the German empires who destroyed the Roman Empire in the 5th century in Europe, physically part of Babylon, came to Germany. Is there a restored Roman Empire as allegedly given to the prophet Daniel in the biblical Old Testament? Surely this is a book for a pixie in the sky and Aesop's fables, right? EU uses biblical symbols. If the EU meant to have a secular state, why would it openly use symbols based on an ancient biblical model which, according to the scriptural text, are spiritually dark and end up being destroyed? Oh, okay. In a video called The Rape of Europa, David Hathaway explains the story of how Europe took his name and why there is a sculpture outside the Council of Ministers building in Brussels that has its symbol on coins and banknotes. Why is the building in Strasbourg meant to represent an unfinished building? This building is based on the painting of Renaissance painter Peter Bruegel, showing the Tower of Babel that shows an unfinished building. The Parliament building shows like it is unfinished and has an uncanny resemblance to Bruegel's masterpiece. It cost 8 billion and was finished in December 2000. Many tongues, one voice. They advertised based on the Peter Bruegel painting of the Tower of Babel in 1563. On the slogan on the poster it says in French, many tongues, one voice. The 12 stars on the European flag are meant to signify the crown of Mary, Queen of Heaven, but in Babylonian culture, the title Queen of Heaven was given the title of the earthly mother of Nimrod, builder of Babylon. Will EU get destroyed like a blueprint? Did a previous Roman Empire collapse because of its obsession with civil servants and dependence on laws, structures and bureaucracy? Was it destroyed by an accumulation of bureaucracy, but the physical destruction of this empire came via the Germanic tribes of Europe, but this happened in Europe, not Babylon, where all previous world empires crashed, including the Greek and Medo-Persian empires? Just see how far on. Listen, guys, what I'll do is I'll add that link in the description after I finish this video. So I'm going to leave it there for this morning. I've other stuff to do today. But as you can see, for the majority of people who just look at this stuff. It's oftentimes their humanity is being tapped into, and they're the shame centers of their brain, so that if you say other people can't come here who are in dire straits or in desperate circumstances, then you are a bad person. This is how they do it. It's the shame mechanism. Whereas, in fact, the reality of the situation is that there are non-governmental organizations, which is in itself a contradiction, because these NGO groups, non-governmental organizations, are actually funded by the government and by World Banking to go to these other countries and incentivize, put out advertisement, put out to advertise our countries. And this is stated in the Global Compact for Migration, that developed nations must advertise their resources, their school systems, their job opportunities, their housing spaces to developed nations. This is written in a 30-page PDF, the Global Compact for Migration. Now, do I believe that Leo Varadkar signed it on behalf of the Irish people? No, I don't. I'll get to you in a minute, Big Red. I figured you out, your title. Anyway, so did Leo Varadkar sign the Global Compact for Migration for the Irish people in Marrakesh and Morocco for the Irish people on that date? Did he do that? No, he didn't. What I believe is that, as I said, I believe politics is window dressing. I believe our politicians are just puppets. They're just people put in place for all of us to look at and demonize while they enact stuff which we don't agree with, while the real people are over there. So the people who we all cast our ire onto and vent our frustration on are not the culprits. The culprits are over there. It's the firebreak thing. Do you remember I was telling you about the firebreak? How the people of the tribe are used as a liability shield for the same global groups, the financial criminals, doing all this work. Okay? So this is the same thing. It's basically your politicians who were in power while all this was being enacted were basically overtly, like they couldn't just, like if there was nobody to represent what was happening with all of this mass migration into our countries, if there was nobody to represent that, people would start searching for why this is happening. And where they'd end up with is the large banking elites. They'd end up with the usual names and families behind all of this, you know? So as I said, there's no refugees. These people are being paid. Like I used to know North Africans used to sit outside a cafe here in this city, and I remember the girl behind the counter going, "They all have the same card." I said, "What?" I said, "They all have the same credit card. They all use the same credit card." I said, "Oh, okay." And I didn't really understand or know what that was about at the time, but I do now. They're all given the same credit card because it's charged bi-weekly. It's charged bi-weekly for them to survive here. And it's global banking which is supporting their being here. It's supporting their coming here. And I do believe there is a religious aspect behind this. I believe there is a satanic and Luciferian hatred of God's order. That's my own belief as a Christian. I believe that God had a diktat that there should be individual nations and that everybody will speak a different tongue. And that is the beauty of true diversity. And I believe that the people who are at war with God, who are, and we all know who's at war with God, don't we? So the people who are doing this are Luciferian and satanic. They want to upend and invert God's order, and they have been doing for the longest time. But it's never too late for those of you doing their will. Never too late. You're all God's creation. All right, so Big Red, I figured you out. Basically, that term, this guy comes on, right, and he, see the way, like, come on, it's shame on you, you know, I mean, I'm not plugged in anymore to that, right? So the reason this particular troll has this particular title is that big is large and encompassing, right? And red is a color which activates your base primal emotions and instincts, you know? So like in the chakra system, your base chakra below your spine is your primal one. It's the one that connects you to survival. And what is the most basic primal emotion you feel when you have to survive? It's anger, isn't it? You know, it's anger. Red, like a red rag to a bull. Do you know what I mean? Like when a child is first born, it lets out an angry wail to free up its lungs and to say, feed me, I need to survive. You know, anger is a primal energy to actually help your survival. So big red, do you see? Big red. It's to tie into your, and then his words are shame on you. So shame is again tying into your emotional centers of your brain and your being. And his title, Big Red, is to give you that image, that redness right there while he says it. You see? Have you figured out, boy? All right, so enjoy your day anyway. I mean, you're a human being. Well, I hope you're a human being. And you have kids and that you're... well, you say that stuff, Emmanuel. I'm not going to say it. Maybe I should. But no, they're all beautiful creations of God. And, you know, they need to earn a living too and support the people they love. So I'm going to leave it there. And sometimes they help me with when I leave on the music by mistake or it's got an echo or something like that. So that's okay too. Can you feel it? All right, so enjoy your glass of wine in the end. All right, take care. Thanks, Emmanuel, and thanks, Brian, for coming on. And I shall play you out.
Look what you hear today. There is light around us, with a cloud in the sky. Weight of the world an illusion. Memory. I am free. You are free. We are free in this shambles democracy. Free to think, free to speak, free to be.